Hi, this is Lucy, and this is my third video log or vlog, and I'll be discussing the improvements that are going to be necessary to kind of improve the video and to make the music video really viable and good. Firstly, there are a lot of elements that I'm beginning to be relatively happy with. The footage in general, I'm really happy with how most of it turns out. Obviously, the stuff that isn't in the video, the stuff that was disappointing or ended up being quite interlaced or having a strange effect due to the fact that the projector was being used. So what that I've got currently in the video, which obviously you can see, it's called Get Up Barcelona Edit 2, and it's on YouTube. Yeah, obviously I'm pretty happy with that. I'm especially happy with the contrast. I think the contrast of the kind of dark colours really works really well. It's quite distinct, quite sharp. Perhaps the beginning needs to be just brightened up a little bit more, but apart from that, I'm really happy with it. I'm just playing the first little bit to show you. The kind of intro perhaps needs a little bit more kind of lightening. The major aspects that really need work are the transition between scenes. Especially those that are not that visually similar. Like if we just go back here a little bit, the one between the face and this road, you get a bit of a jump because it's such a sudden change. And what's going to need to happen is I'm going to need to put either a crossfade effect, or else I'm going to need to quickly. So yeah, I'm either going to need to put a crossfade so they kind of merge together, or else I'm going to need to quickly to fade to black and then to come back up. Something like a third of a second of black, just a flash, will be enough to kind of change the sequence. Give a little breathing room, and better suit the mood and also the pacing of the film, because at the moment the immediate transitions is way too quick for the tempo of the music. The other areas of thing that perhaps need work are the areas of kind of the moving image within the house or within an environment. I'm finding that the colour quality in them is quite low, and so it's quite grainy and it's kind of pixelated, and that's definitely something that either needs work or just generally to be removed altogether. I'm not feeling it's particularly successful, and it perhaps doesn't relate that well because the rest of it's about faces and projecting onto faces, aspects like that, and stuff like this. It's within a room, but it's really not that obvious and not that clear to the viewer. So either I make it really clear, or I integrate it later into the video so it's a more kind of constant element, or else I just get rid of it. I think the latter will be what I'm going to do. I also think that there's the really successful imagery is the stuff that's either really far away and just kind of a general shot, so the ones I got initially, or the ones where the projector is involved, the close-ups. So you get that grainy kind of check to the images, and so it's really obvious that it is a projection and not just a really poor quality image. I think they're perhaps, yeah, the most successful elements. The ones where it's kind of half-hearted aren't quite so convincing and aren't quite so clear kind of what's happening. I think I need to work with the transitions also, making them so they're quite visually similar. Obviously between the faces and the road, because one's very white and one's very black, I'm not going to be able to get much kind of colour similarities or kind of just general similarities, so what I need to look for is kind of movement or direction. So if I have maybe a strong line on the face, I find a road that emulates that strong line, and then I use that way it's going to tie everything together nicely. It's just going to be a little bit more cohesive to look at. Obviously, if I can get ones with the same tones, you have a grey patch, and that same grey patch is the patch on the face when it fades through, that'll also work just as well. But it's more likely I'm going to have to focus on angles, direction, and a bit of movement to get a much better result. Apart from that, I'm very happy with how the video is going. I think it's pretty good. It tends to follow all the kind of elements of a good video, music video, especially in the genre that I'm looking for, that I've been looking at and kind of studying to see the general kind of aspects that are needed. I think it pretty much conforms to that. It just needs a little bit more work on the kind of cohesive nature of it, a little bit more on kind of slightly less exact changing of scenes, because it's very kind of abrupt and just doesn't suit the music. But apart from that, yeah, I'm really happy. I think it looks really good at the moment.